In a universe where life does not end at death, we explore the infinite possibilities forged by our very minds. Welcome to Arthadian Anthologies. Before we get started, I just want to inform you that this series was recorded over Discord. If the quality dips, it's due to connection issues. Greetings, fellow travelers. Welcome to a Reborn in Power series following the Guardians of Photonic. Follow along as the Nameless Blade and allies she meets in her order work to thwart the plans set up by void-like entities. Last time, in the Guardian series, you, Theophotia, the Nameless Blade, went with the Supreme Guardian to a world in order to meet a guardian named Astron. He apparently was able to get out of the dark void unscathed and had a newfound love or admiration for the realm of Evemore. Therefore, you went to a world within the realm of Evemore in which it seemed as though he created its own little domain there. This world was very sprawling with a jungle all around you, and it was storming as the Supreme Guardian was able to change the weather with his power. And you both ended up finding a temple dedicated to Evemore. You witnessed a mural all around this temple and a statue of 4 sides to Evemore. 2 sides that looked down and had their eyes open, smiling this maniacal grin, while the other 2 looked up and had their eyes closed. These statues, each side looking towards a different point on these murals that were symmetrical in some regard, but on opposite sides. You began to understand what these were telling, like some kind of story of what seemed to be Redicon. A purple Redicon on one side that was on the side where the Evemore statue was looking up to, and then a black Redicon that had their arms crossed on the side where the Evemore statue was looking down towards and smiling towards. You tried to contact Evemore using your own religion check, and it didn't go so well as you felt. A dark sensation trying to manipulate your emotions. And then you were able to be cleansed by the Supreme Guardian as you tried something else. You went to the mural on the wall and you pressed your hand through it to see if maybe it would transport you somewhere, and it did. It ended up taking you to a chamber of what seemed to be some Runeforger's chamber, a Redicon, with a bit of a bright orange skin tone to him. You can see an image of what seemed to be like a hollow image of of this Redicon, as well as a purple Redicon that stands next to him. And then some rune forgers came by as the Supreme Guardian hid both you and him from these rune forgers, as they explained, as the rune forgers talked amongst themselves, wondering what the hell, the kind of energy just popped up and then disappeared. And then you got told by Aris that there is something going on here, and if you want to figure it out, you can try to figure it out right now on your own time. And Aris is going to go back to the harbor to get prepared for you to meet with the Supreme Guardian of Time after this. And he sent you, dampening your actual energy so that people don't see you as a guardian as much, but more as a mortal being. And he specified to you that you must remember that these are mortals and that you are a guardian. And as you appear in front of this runic seminary, you feel the wind beginning to blow around you. And you see the steps, the staircase leading up to this seminary that is built into the side of the vector range on the pillar of the harbor. As you approach and walk up these steps, you see or notice a slight vibration in the air. I'd like you to roll me an energy knowledge check.
Alrighty. Hey, I rolled a natural 12, got a 29.
You sense what feels like a barrier of some kind, and as you look over, you see these runic inscriptions built, carved into the actual stone of the mountain range that you are on, and you can tell that there's some kind of barrier. As you continue to approach, you hear, "Welcome to the seminary." And you don't see anyone at first until you see it looks like this barrier kind of shimmers as someone walks forward. You see they have a runic strap on them with 3 runes attached to it. The runes are a tonic rune, a kinetic rune, and a source rune.
I give a half bow and go, "Hail, Rune Forger."
And he looks down at you. "Do you have business here at the seminary?"
I'm not even sure what a seminary is.
If you're not sure what a seminary is, and yet you have climbed this mountainside to get here. How did you get here in the first place? And he looks at you curiously. You see, he has this
I look him dead in the eyes and I say, "Magic."
magic. And he looks at you. He's like, "You don't seem like a..."
It's a rather complicated and long story. In short, I'm looking to figure out more where I am and how I can get home.
I see. Very well. he looks at you and says, well, I suppose you can come in for a moment and we can figure out a way to get you back to where you were headed in the first place. But please stick with me, alright?
Of course.
He turns around and begins to walk up. As you walk forward and begin to follow him, you go through this barrier as you feel the wind stop blowing, and you see above you this massive towering structure that is built into the side of this mountain range. You saw it before. It almost felt like it was further down, but now you're way closer to it than you were before. And as you begin to walk up these steps with him, you begin to see others, these rune forgers, all with different straps, different size straps. Some young apprentices who are following their masters, going to what looks like a platform where there are other ships that are landing and then departing to different locations. And you see the rune forger that you are following looks back at you, and he says, "So, do you have a coordinate path to your home? Do you live here in the Pillars, or are you from another colony? And if so, how did you get here in the first place? Do you remember?"
There was a experiment involving Majin and quantum energies, unfortunately. And it went a little sideways. I seem to be the only one who got stranded here.
Go ahead and roll a deception check with advantage.
What does advantage do? I almost never get that.
Do you have a talent in deception or no?
No.
Okay, so you have an added +1.
Okay. I got a 13 in total.
13 in total.
What? I'm not very charismatic.
I know.
I'm trying here.
You at least use some truth to that. So like that's why you got the advantage. All right. Let me roll this little check to see if he notices any kind of deceiving nature to you. He looks at you and is like, right. You can, looking at him, it seems like he's curious and cautious.
Yeah.
And he begins to approach the what looks like the doors to this massive structure. As the doors open up, and you enter inside this runic seminary, where you see many different rune forgers kind of walking around, going about their business, going to different chambers that are within this structure. And he walks up to a table at the front, and you see what looks like a sin frame that stands there at attention, and he looks up at you and says, "Oh, well, hello there. What can I do for you?" And he's like, Forger 8. I now have to come up with a name. You know how we're just making up names off the spot. Forger 8th here. This is, what was your name? And looks at you, waiting for you to say a name.
My name is Fotia.
Fotia. Fotia here was at the base of the steps in front of the seminary and is lost and needs to get back home. I see. How did you get here in the first place? Some kind of...
My master and I were inspecting the ruins of an Evemore temple, conducting experiments on a painting which contained various energies. The next thing I knew, I was here.
And you see, he looks at you now, and he's like, that was a little bit more information than what you gave. And you see the sin behind the desk looks at you and is like, who is your master, if we may ask?
A Redicon by the name of Azon.
Oh,
I believe he is one of your order.
Please roll me a deception check. This is gonna be with disadvantage because
I'm like the fucking worst of this shit. Okay, disadvantage. What do I do?
You just roll. I'll give it to you.
Okay. I got a 14 in total.
Okay. They both look at you and they're like, they just look at you and you see the forger that brought you here looks at you is like, all right, there's something that you're hiding.
I'm going to look him in the eyes and I'm going to go, I wish I could tell you the whole truth, but I have been instructed not to, and I am a terrible liar. I am not up to anything nefarious or bad, but I am trying to stay as close to the truth as I can.
Please roll me an influence check.
I am so bad at talking to people. Like, yeah, I am lying. I really, really don't like it. Alright, influence. Haha! I actually have a point in this. I got a 15 in total.
Okay. $15 total. He looks at you, the Sin looks at you. They both say, well, the forger that brought you here says, all right, I will take note of that. And he looks over towards the Sin, and the Sin just stares at you and looks you up and down. And then the forger says, is there a master available for us to, take them to our friend here? And you see the Sin's like, perhaps it would be wise to get... You said Evemore you were studying?
Indeed.
Do you think Master Zermo is available? And he's like, isn't Zermo working with... And he looks over at you, he's like, his apprentice? It's like, well, there's only one way to find out. And you see he goes and pulls out the Sin pulls out his codex and then begins to call someone up. And then you see a holographic image of what looks like the purple reticon from the image inside Azon's chamber appear. And you see he's like, yes, what can I do for you? Master Zermo, there is an individual here who seems to have encountered it seems like a temple for Evemore. A temple for Evemore. Yes, they said that they are an apprentice to Azon? And you hear Zimmer's like, what? Yes, it seems as though they're obviously hiding something from us, and we are aware of it. It's just, it's like, you are calling me because someone wants to meet with my apprentice, and they encountered something Evemore related. Yes, Master. Sorry for interrupting anything.
If it helps, I spoke directly with Dusk and Dawn.
Do you say this out loud?
Yeah.
And then you see Master Ceremo like turn around and look towards you, and as he like kind of looks towards you, he says like, "Move the codex. What was that voice?" And then you see the codex kind of shifts towards you, and he sees you, and he says, "You spoke to Dusk and Dawn, you say?"
Well, more like tormented by Dusk, and Dawn tried to change who I was a little bit. Both were rather unhelpful.
He says, "I will be there shortly. Escort this."
Thank you, Master Runeforger.
"Escort them to my chamber at once." "Yes, Master." As you see it, he hangs up. And he's like, "Alright, you heard the Master." And he begins to walk you towards a hallway, down a hallway, towards a lift, an elevator.
I go with, I'm not getting walked into a prison cell, am I? I like look him right in the eyes asking.
That's if you'll actually explain to us what is going on, but the thing is, I mean...
I really wish I could, but I was told not to.
Very well. But, I mean, you should really get to know your information before you start coming up with lies or, you know, it's a good skill to have, to be able, like, if you really cannot say, or just literally just say you cannot say, and be genuine about it, because
I'm just used to being honest.
it looks that way. It looks that way. Don't worry, we can tell.
I'm not really much of a talker.
You guys go into a lift as it takes you up. And he says, "Just so you know, when you said Azon is your master, Azon is actually an apprentice runeforger."
Interesting.
Can you tell me why you use Azon's name and how you know Azon?
I wish I could.
So that is one of the pieces of this puzzle. He's like, "It's okay." And then you see the door opens up. You begin to walk down a longer hallway, and you go up to a door down this hallway, probably about 5 doors down, and the door slides open, and as it slides open, it closes up, and you see a large study chamber. And he says, "All right, this is Master Zermo's chamber. Feel free to make yourself comfortable until he gets here.
Thank you. And I'm going to sit down and meditate floating.
Okay. Is there anything you're meditating on, or are you just meditating?
I'm mostly just processing the, having to deal with dusk and dawn in general.
Okay. Please roll.
Those are hard experiences for Fia.
Yeah, please roll me a discipline.
Yep. I got a 21 in total.
As you try to make sense of this, you think about it very carefully. It's strange because you were fighting against this cult of the inner flame before. And now it feels like everything has drastically changed to something different.
It keeps getting more and more complicated.
There's obviously things going on in the background that you don't quite understand, and perhaps there's other things going on across these realms that you don't understand. You've been dealing with photonic stuff for so long that now you're realizing that there's more. There's more that lies beyond just your realm. The challenges that everyone else faces. And as you continue to meditate, you suddenly hear
I open my eyes and look.
You look back and you see a towering purple Redicon standing before you. He has a strap that goes around his shoulder, and each one is he actually doesn't have any runes on it, and he just stares at you.
Is it Azon or is it the Master?
It is the Master.
Master Rune Forger. And I will casually stand up and give him a half bow.
All right. He looks at you and says, "You experienced what exactly?"
It is of a very highly personal nature, my experiences with Dusk and Dawn. Dusk primarily tried to make me relive and give in to my darker emotions.
This is normal. And you see him
Dawn tried to make me forget them.
He begins to pace around and go over towards the desk in the corner, and he looks at you.
Is it just Dusk currently?
Wait, what'd you say?
No one else observing? Is it just us currently, and nobody else observing?
He looks at you. He kind of gives you a glare, and he says, "It is just us." Please roll me an analyze check.
Yeah, I totally will. I'm so bad at analyze. I got a 9.
Yeah, you're not. It seems as though he seems very serious about this, but he says he seems to be just telling the truth, saying that it's just you two. But he seems very serious.
I maintain full eye contact with him.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you. However, I cannot reveal everything of my circumstances.
I see.
This is not because I do not trust you. This is not because I do not desire your help. Honestly, I believe it is a hindrance to what needs to happen.
So why are you here?
This all started with an investigation of a cult of the Inner Flame.
He looks over towards you.
Have you heard of them?
And he says, the Inner Flame. I've heard legends, I suppose. And he looks up at you, and he says, what does this have to do with Evemore?
A lot, unfortunately. But I'm not sure exactly how. I was in pursuit of one of my colleagues. Their last known location involved a temple of Evemore.
One of your
He
colleagues.
is much more... Yes.
Does your colleague have
He's
a
much-
name?
I think for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, I forgot to write his name down.
Astron, remember? Astron.
Astron.
Do you say that out loud?
I wrote it. I'm going to look him in the eyes. Do I remember if Astron was a rune forger?
No. The only person that you knew that was a rune forger and a guardian was Tolvan.
I think for a minute. Have you ever heard the name Tolvan?
He looks at you curiously. Tolvan. Sounds kind of familiar.
I'm not sure how much I can tell you while keeping my word to my master.
Right.
But I will try to tell you as much as I can. In short, we were pursuing the cult of Inner Flame, and Tolvan saved me from a Voidwalker.
I see.
And in an attempt to try to understand more about the nature of Voidwalkers, to create better tactics and whatnot, and attempt a rescue for Tolvan, I went in search of another one of my colleagues.
And this
Much older than me and more experienced.
And this colleague was the one with this temple, you say?
Temple.
You still have not given me a name.
Astron.
He thinks about this, and he looks down. I'd like you to roll me another analyze check.
God damn it, I'm so bad at it. I rolled a natural one.
Oh my
I got an 8. I'm bad at this. I have it, but I'm bad at it.
You look at him as you see his face. You see a little twitch in his eye. And he's like contemplating something.
I see you're in
Why do you want
contemplation.
my apprentice?
Because the temple Put me
Wait.
and my master.
Wait. And you see him stand up. And as he stands up, he looks around the room. He goes over.
I'm going to think that Nietzsche. Do you sense anything?
You hear Nietzsche say,
He is concerned. Do you want me to probe him?
Not quite.
It feels like he's hiding something.
and you see him look around. As he's looking around, he goes over to a little corner, and then he kind of double taps onto one of the shelves of the codex shelf, and as he double taps on it, he goes over to the other side, and he also double taps on it, and then you hear a and the shelves begin to open up into what looks like a thick metallic door, and then you see him quickly go over to to a panel next to it, and he scans his hand, and the door opens up into a square metallic chamber, and he says, "Enter inside now."
I enter inside.
You go inside, and then he goes inside, and he presses on the panel as it closes up completely, sealing both of you inside. And he looks at you, and he says, "What do you want with my apprentice?"
Nothing nefarious. I'm mostly curious to see what sort of connection he has with Astron, since it was Astron's temple to Evemore that sent me to, here.
Where are you from? You don't give off an energy.
Do you want... That's because my master did not want me to give off an energy right now. Are we free from prying eyes and ears? Completely.
He looks around and he says, "I am not sure. For now, I think that we are to a certain extent, but..."
Very well. I am a guardian.
You say this, he looks at you, and he says, "What?"
I have been instructed by one of the Supreme Guardians not to reveal this to anyone.
You need to leave.
But I feel...
You need to leave now. And you see him go over to the
Why?
door, and as the door... Leave now.
Nietzsche, probe him for answers. Diplomacy.
Oh, crap. Okay. Nietzsche is like,
With pleasure.
as... Okay. Oh. You see, you feel Nietzsche go and move your hand to grab onto his, and you grab onto his his forearm, and all of a sudden you feel this sensation going through your mind up into his mind, and then you see him and fight it off as it breaks off, and Nietzsche and you hear some
down.
pain from Nietzsche, and then you see Zermo looks at you and says, You're not a guardian. What are you?"
I actually am.
He's,
But we
he's
are
strong.
more.
He's strong. What? I thought it. What is going
It's
on?
okay, Nietzsche. You did the best you can. I say that one out loud.
You need to leave now.
And here I thought Runeforges were supposed to be the good guys. And I start walking.
Okay, let me see something real quick. You say this, and he says, "Wait." You look back. You look back at him, and you see he's conflicted, and he clenches his fist.
Do you serve even more directly? I ask.
I serve the dawn.
I nod. And you don't want to betray her trust, do you?
He looks up at you, and you see in his eyes fear, terror.
No. You're scared. Seems all the Regals are acting strange lately.
All I can say is the dusk is coming.
I will carry the word. And I give him a more respectful bow than I did initially.
All right.
My name is Viafotia. Please trust that you have an ally in me, and not a foe. My other is Nietzsche. She has guided my family since long ago.
Watch yourself,
And I give
Guardian. They're coming for you.
And I'm going to attempt to shift back to my harbor.
All right.
As I have fucked this up.
I would like you to roll me a discipline will check.
Discipline will? I got a 21.
21, you... disappear. And... as you go to reappear at the harbor, you feel something strange. It almost feels like there was something there. Please roll me an energy check.
Yeah, I like rolling energy checks. They keep me alive. I rolled a natural 12, 29.
29. Thinking about what you were witnessing in that Redicon, you could sense the conflict within him was between Source and Void. And that there was something lingering inside of him that he was trying to fight. That it seemed like he has been fighting for a very long time. But finally, you make it back to the harbor. as you have made it back.
This seems more important to me than the Cult of Fire right now. That was a rune forger. They're supposed to be the good guys. He's infected with void turbulence. And if my player theory is correct, that makes me think Evemore is plotting something, especially if dusk is coming out. And I'm going to...
You appear by the greeter, Nevex, as he stares at you and says,
It seems as though you have encountered something.
Possibly very dangerous. Probably very dangerous.
The Supreme Guardian is waiting in his chamber.
Oh, he's not going to be happy with me. Look at him, I don't smile. I have the oh crap look on my face. Thank you, greeter. I'm going to go see them.
all right, you go to the... you go to the chamber which the archivist is at, and he looks back at you. And as he looks back at you, you begin to walk over towards the Supreme Guardian's chamber, and you hear,
It seems the pieces are showing themselves.
do you...
I look around. Who said that?
It was the archivist over in the corner as you're walking over towards the basically...
Yes,
the
archivist.
the
It seems that way. It's...
And you can see that the archivist is staring at you intently. And he says,
Would you kindly, while I'm in the meeting, send Neff information on Dusk and Market Urchin? Anything that we have?
I think that it would be important to speak with the Supreme Guardian about this.
I will.
Oh,
And I'm gonna go into the...
Fia.
Oh. Yes?
Don't get lost.
I will do my best not to get lost.
and you walk
And
up.
I'm gonna... yeah,
Walk
I'm
up
gonna
to
go
the
to the
Supreme
Supreme
Guardian's
Guardian.
Walk up to the Supreme Guardian's chamber as the white door opens up. You enter inside, and you see RS appear before you. Hello.
So
Theo?
you're gonna be a little mad at me.
I
But I
figured
believe
that you
I've
would.
gathered some important information.
I figured that you would at least tell one person there.
I told exactly one person.
Well then,
And they happen to be a servant of Dawn. Balancing void and source energy.
balancing. A servant of
They
dawn.
were struggling with it. Yes. They told me that dusk is coming
Was this
and that they could say no more.
Azon?
I shake my head. It was the master of the... It was the master of Azon.
The master of Azon.
I did not actually meet with Azon, but rather his master. I told a very bad lie, which was seen through.
Of course.
I did sprinkle it with a little bit of truth, such as the temple at Evemore. I did not mention what we were doing there, really. Well, maybe I mentioned enough.
Did you give them coordinates to the world?
What? No, I don't. Coordinates are hard to remember. Coordinates are hard.
Of course. This master, what was his name?
Matt. Come on, man. You know me. I'm bad at names.
Zermo.
Please, Zermo.
Zermo. He's a servant of Dawn.
And a master rune forger.
I see.
His immediate reaction to me being a guardian was that I needed to leave immediately.
Why?
He seemed terrified.
You also remember that he also said that they're after you all.
And that they're after us all. And that dusk is coming. You know, really cryptic, evil-sounding things.
A warning.
I think dusk may be getting more powerful than dawn. And it would be wise to educate other guardians of dusk.
The issue is that this is not our fight.
If they're coming for us, we need to know how to defend ourselves. I'm not saying we launch a preemptive strike or anything hostile or aggressive like that. But we should prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
He looks at you. Very well. I will begin lessons on more of the Eve-Moore dichotomy. I'll have the archivist prepare that now. Fia, it seems as though you are, even though there are things that you still need to learn, you are growing. I think it is time for you to meet Photon, the Supreme Guardian of Time. As he looks at you, he says, I don't know what will happen. What might occur. When you meet Votan, but I recommend you go and speak with your allies before we go. Or perhaps bring your allies along. You might need them.
I nod.
We are still in search of Tulvan. But do not worry.
Yes.
We will find him. And we also need to find this Astron as well. Because I'm sure they have more information.
There is something I would like to try before I speak with the Grand Master. It's rather direct and simple. But I think it might be, well, it might work.
What might that
but it's
be?
probably dangerous, like most of my ideas.
What would that be? Fia.
Well, I have a bond to that Voidwalker. We are shielding it. We're being safe about it. But what if we tried to communicate with them?
About
information
what?
on about Dusk. They may not know anything about what's going on with Evemore right now. Perhaps we could barter that information for Toldon.
But why? Why would they take this offer?
Knowing that a regal entity is about to start doing stuff seems like important information.
Very well. Do it here.
Thank you. And I'm going to kneel.
You kneel.
And I'm going to think at Nietzsche. Are you okay? I'm sorry I didn't ask sooner.
There was something about that Raticon. It seemed as though he was hiding something. Something about his apprentice. Something about him. I don't know. I don't know.
It's okay, Nietzsche. We'll try to figure it out.
He was very strong. It felt almost like there was something protecting him. Something dark.
It might have been Dusk.
Do you want me to try to contact the Voidwalker?
Please.
You will see what I can do.
Thank you, Nietzsche. I'm sorry to have worked you so hard over these past couple days.
It's okay. We're a team. Right?
I give her like a mental hug.
She begins to focus. As she focuses, you feel darkness begin to protrude through your mind. And it tries to link with something, with Nietzsche. And then you hear...
Do you have to speak in creepy elder talk? I asked the entity.
Guardian.
Yes.
You're protected.
I figured it was the best way to have a nice conversation.
You want your guardian ally.
I do.
And what will you
I'm
give
willing
me?
to trade. I'm willing to trade information
Oh,
of a grand nature.
grand nature. I'm not sure if that is enough.
Honestly, I think you're getting the good deal.
What is this?
I have information pertaining to one of the regal entities and upcoming plans. Vague, but enough to start counterplanning.
Oh, I think I know exactly what you're talking about. You're talking about the dusk, aren't you?
I also know a couple specific names involving said regal.
You do know. I know a few names as well. So the thing is that I don't think you have enough to offer me that I can give up a guardian for. Unless you give yourself up.
That's... My information comes directly from a servant of Dawn.
I see. My information stems from the dark void. Directly to the next almighty herself.
Hearing this, it seems that there might be a plan in action to awaken the next Almighty.
I don't let on that I pick up on that.
Well, I mean, it was said like blatantly.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah, I'm not reacting to it. Is the point?
Okay, go ahead and roll me.
Allowing them.
Roll me a discipline will check to see if.
Oh yeah, I'll roll a discipline will check. I got a 26.
Okay, yeah, you're good. There's like a slight like a slight feeling of of tensing up that you feel like you need to you're like freaking out a little bit because from all the stories that you've heard, everything that you've witnessed, the Almighty is like the pinnacle of Voidwalkers. It is something that the Guardians have fought many times before, and apparently it has caused like massive problems for the Guardians in the past.
Yeah. I do a mental sigh.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this isn't new information. What are you proposing to get Tolvar back? Sorry, I butchered that idea. My friend. What are you proposing for the Guardian back?
Oh. So you want your Tovan back. I propose. I want you in exchange.
Why me?
You have a power that's quite unique.
Swords? Why does everyone keep saying that? Like,
You control them, don't you? Which means...
yeah, isn't that normal?
It means that you can help me get the King's Call.
You remember the King's Call being the blade that you were initially meant to find. The one
How many pieces do you have so far?
We have the cross guard. We need the blade. And I know that you also have the hilt, don't you?
I will confer this bargain to the Supreme Guardian, and I will contact you at a later date to let you know whether or not it is rejected or accepted.
Don't wait too long.
It will be within 24 hours.
Good. I look forward to hearing what you have to offer.
And I think at Nietzsche, can you, rudely hang up on them?
You hear it almost feels like a severing connection. And Nietzsche's like,
I feel weak. I want some emotions.
Take what you need from me.
you begin to feel that fear from the mention of the Almighty coming back, being eaten away at.
I'm going to relay the information that we gained and just the whole conversation to the Supreme Guardian. Real quick.
Okay, yeah, you relay that information.
Including the time stipulation on the response.
And you see Aris is like, crap.
Is my power really that unique?
The Voidwalker probably wants your power so that it could help it search for the pieces of the blade. My question is, what can it be used for? But also, is this Voidwalker working with this next Almighty, as it says? This is not good.
It's the void. Nothing it does is good.
You have 24 hours.
I have a bad plan. I look him in the eyes. You think I can find the blade. It seems to think that I can find the blade with my power. Right?
It's possible.
Which means we have 24 hours to respond to it. If we find the blade before that time is up, you can hide it, lock it away, whatever. We make the trade, giving me to them in exchange for Tolvan. I fight my way back. I never said that I would agree to be a Voidwalker or anything along those lines. But in exchange of prisoners. You see?
It's...
incredibly reckless? Yes.
Yes. We have to be a little bit more cautious about this. Now that we know that the Almighty might be involved. But from what you've told me, the Almighty... You see, he's like really focusing on what you explained, the conversation.
Yeah. It also seems that
the Almighty linked to
Dusk is working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Almighty is linked to the Dusk in some way. Or linked to them. What is going on? I need you to meet with Votan.
Understood.
Being the Supreme Guardian of Time, he can see into multiple versions of the future.
Interesting.
We might be able to see into your future and find out the best path to move forward.
Understood.
But there's a potential chance that if the best path to move forward is something completely different than what we've been doing this entire time, it may be a massive change for you. Do you think you'd be ready for something like that?
Expect the unexpected, and you'll never be disappointed.
Well, dealing with time is very unexpected. And quite dangerous.
Then I might get more versatile. If Votanic requires that I change, I will.
Go gather your allies. I will make sure that the Archivist has everything that they need to get information on the Dusk. And we'll see about whatever information we can muster up regarding the blade. And perhaps see if Neftenvo can create a device that can help you find the blade using your power.
I think I have a way, well, an idea of how to train that ability as well. I've never thought about using my swords outside of combat. For much, really. don't even think I've tried detecting another sword before.
We'll see what we can figure out. But for now, go on.
Anad.
You head out of the Supreme Guardian's chamber, and you go to meet with Deftenvo and Engel, who is still upset at you from last time.
Yes, very upset.
Going out into the archive, you see Neftenvo is sitting there across from the archivist, VX 215. And
Archivist, I give him a bow.
looks back. I did as you asked.
Thank you. Things have gotten more complicated and dangerous than I had initially thought.
I've heard that you went with the Supreme Guardian to some kind of Evemore world.
Yes.
And there was a temple?
Yes.
Oh. Well then, what's the plan?
I take a deep breath, exhale. I look at my two allies. This is a bit of a mouthful.
Angle is not there right now.
Oh, okay. The plan is to gather my allies, and we're gonna go talk to
Supreme Guardian Votan.
Votan. Sorry, my iPad locked. So I was like, I'm on the right page.
Yeah.
I just had to unlock it. Yes, we are gonna go see Votan. I've come up with a terrible plan, which we should run by him, but due to his unique abilities, he should be able to assist us in finding a good course of action. On top of that,
wait, so we're actually meeting.
To...
We're actually meeting the Supreme Guardian Votan.
Yes, I've been instructed to take me and my allies.
Neftenvo stands up. Is like,
I will go pack up all the questions I've always had about all the answers to the Votan.
Hang on. There's some Nef. There's something else I need your help with.
Okay. Yeah.
and
the
you see
Void thinks
he's not paying
can
attention.
find the sword with my power. Okay, are you following me?
You said something about finding a sword with your power.
Don't make me.
Don't you think you
get
can
an itch to eat your curiosity?
But don't you think you could just ask Votan about it? Then he might have the answer, right?
Oh my god, yes, but we have a limited amount of things we can ask him. Probably. I don't know how this works. He deals with time. He might be totally crazy for all I know.
He's a Supreme Guardian. Shouldn't he act like Aris?
Oh my god, why do you think people don't go see him all the time?
I feel like everyone is seeing him all the time because think about it. He sees through time, so he's seeing everyone.
No, he's seeing
every moment in time.
He's seeing them all. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. That might make someone go crazy.
So, please don't bring your questions about the future. We're not gonna use. We don't want to overwhelm him with questions.
Okay. Well then.
And if I don't get to do my dumb thing, you don't get to do your dumb thing.
Yeah, but most of my things aren't dumb.
Well, we have 24 hours to respond to a Void Walker.
Why did you give 24 hours? Why didn't you say like 48 or a week?
I don't know. I was in the moment.
God damn it, you need to get better at your negotiating.
I know that. It's a flaw.
You see the archivist is just looking between the two of you.
Heck, I even tried lying to people today. I've spoken with Dusk, I've spoken with Dawn, I've talked to a master rune forger who's struggling with void energies. This is not my day. Engel is mad at me. I'm working on it, okay?
Just so you know, you won't be able to find the blade.
That's not what the void thinks.
Well, then the void doesn't
think
have
that my
all the
power-
information.
See? However, our Supreme Guardian seems to think so as well.
That is because the Supreme Guardian doesn't know what I know.
So you don't think I could use my power to find it?
No. Well, no, because it is being hidden. But yes, if it wasn't being hidden.
Would it be? What if we...
I can tell you the last place that the blade was at. If you'd like to know.
Not right now. The less... more... This is complicated. We need Engel here before I explain everything. I don't want to explain it twice. I know he's mad at me.
Yeah.
But I have a semblance of a bad plan.
Maybe you shouldn't say that you're gonna have a bad plan, because that's exactly why Engel is mad at you. Because your recklessness. Maybe just telling him that the Supreme Guardian at a time needs to meet with us.
Yes. That might be the way to go for it.
I'll follow you.
Thank you.
Neff gets up, and the archivist looks up. It's like, very well. I will be here for when you return.
I nod. Let's go see Engel.
You head out. Following Neff Tenvo because he knows where Engel is at. You go to where the training area is at, where Nowlin trains everyone.
Yep.
You continue moving past that training area. And you go to a place where it starts to get colder and colder and colder. As it gets colder, I'd like you to roll me an endurance check.
Alrighty. I got a 17.
You reach a deep, what looks like cyclone of this like icy blizzard, and as you go to enter inside of it, it begins to freeze you up a bit, and you see Engel is sitting there in the center of it. You feel the chill on you. You take 1 point to your stamina.
Yay!
Yeah. But you could feel yourself like being chilled currently. And
yep.
You see Engel is just sitting there with his... He has his arms kind of caressing his knees as he has his head in his lap. And he can't it looks like his head is down currently.
Engel.
You see he looks up for a second. What?
We are going to go see the Supreme Guardian of Time. And try to plot a course forward.
Why do you need me?
I was instructed to gather my allies and bring them with me when I go speak to him.
Oh, are you gonna get Tolvon too?
This is about Tolvon. I'm not good at plans, but I figure someone who can see the future is a lot better at them than I am.
He looks back at you. Go ahead and roll me an influence check.
I'm so bad at these.
A lot of them today, huh?
I'm like, the word. It's okay. I got 12 in total.
He looks at you. And he stands up abruptly. And then you see the blizzard falls and diminishes as he stands up and he looks at you. I'm only going to come because I want to save Tolvon.
I nod.
If this is the best route to having a good plan, then I guess.
I am trying, Engel. And we will get him back.
You see him walk over and begin to approach, and you see Neftanvo kind of pats his shoulder. Don't worry. We will get him back.
I should warn you, though, that things are escalating. Things are.
Oh gosh. What happened now? Is it the Void Walker?
I didn't do anything. I just found information.
Alright, well then
And
let's just get going.
It's complicated. And I'm going to get going. And as we go, I'm going to explain what I've learned to them about Evemore and the new Almighty possibly coming.
Mm.
And the like the whole dusk thing that's happening, the compromised master forger, the journey to try and find Astron,
yeah.
Yeah, and that there's something going on with Zeramo, the Donistrin forger. You know?
Yeah. They listen carefully, and as you return back to the archive where you see VX-215 looks at you three, VX stands up, walks up to you, well, all three of you, and then says, "When you return, I hope that you can join in the effort to put a stop to all of this."
I hope so too.
Neff looks at him. Engel looks up, is like, yeah, I hope so too.
These two should be able to, at the very least. And I smile.
When you smile and you look at each of them, and then you see Neftanvo seems to be staring at the archivist in a very
curious way. And then the archivist steps aside. Until next time. Neff begins to walk forward.
Next time. And I walk forward as well.
And goes like, why does it seem like he's saying goodbye to us? And Neff is like, that felt odd. And
it's because Votan is unstable.
Are you sure about that? You guys begin to walk over towards the Supreme Guardian chamber.
I look at them, and they can see me grimace because I just lied to them. My character is thinking it's because I'm probably going to have to sacrifice myself to the void. But I'm not telling them that.
You guys continue moving through into the Supreme Guardian chamber. Aris appears. Alright. Where we're going, only I could take you.
Guardian Aris.
That's Supreme Guardian for you.
Sorry, I'm a little rattled today.
Of course.
If something happens to me, would you be willing to find a new host for Nietzsche? Provided she survives.
Nothing's going to happen to you. I have you.
Thank you, Nietzsche. But plan for the worst, hope for the best.
I will see what I can do.
Thank you.
And he looks at the three of you. Well then, it's time to go to the Temple of Sacred Knowledge. Prepare yourselves, for the journey up is, well, it is meant for guardians, actually. And you see he... all three of you transport. And you fall on top of what looks like these swaying trees that are all symmetrical, going upward. And you see that you are on these branches. That each branch going up leads further and further up to what looks like this mist. And you hear in your heads all together, when you get up to the mist, you'll enter the temple. Tell Votan that Aris sent you. Pray that Photonic has a path laid out for you to succeed. And with that, we're going to end the session there.
All right.
Yeah, because that one was a little bit longer, hour 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine. It's
but,
okay. It was necessary.
Yes. There was
I'm a blunt instrument. I don't make wise decisions, and I don't lie good.
There was a lot of stuff that happened in that session, and we will see how it continues as you meet with Votan next session. entry 18. I'm excited.
I'm a little worried for my character.
You're a little
Although
worried.
at the same time, I totally want, like, as a player, I want to jump. Like, yeah, nah, just trade me for the void. I'll fight my way out like the nutcase I am.
Yeah, that would
Get my
be,
ally back.
That'd be a
Self-sacrifice. Let's do this.
Oh my god.
I'll fight out.
Okay, well,
You know what? My whole plan, if we do the deal, I'm gonna steal their piece too.
oh my gosh.
If I'm doing the crazy thing, I might as well go all the way.
Go all out, yep. All right, well, thank you all for listening to this entry 17. And if death comes to you, may you be reborn in power. And credits. I thank you for listening to The Guardian. As you listen to the series, you come to learn deeper aspects of the core you may have not been aware of. Pay close attention as the plot thickens. Also, if you want to be reborn yourself, you can subscribe as a Chosen to access Chosen creation and exclusive Codex entries. Until next time, travelers, be safe, stay safe, and if death comes to you, may you be reborn in power.